So some of you are like, why aren't you making keto videos, dickhead? So I haven't, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't do a lot of keto videos anymore. There's a bunch of reasons for it. And I want to go over those because it seems to have been coming up more than once in the comments lately. First of all, there's no like really new shit that's come out about keto. I mean, hasn't changed much in the past 5 years that I've been kind of doing this. And I don't get satisfaction from repeating myself over and over again and constantly saying the same things and answering the same questions over and over again when I've done that work. Those videos are there, go back and watch them. They haven't really, it hasn't changed. Nutrition hasn't changed. Our environment has changed, our world has changed, but keto is still keto. The formula for keto hasn't changed, the kind of food you eat hasn't changed, and you could probably sum the ketogenic diet up in one video. That's how basic it is. And some of you are like, just grow your channel and stuff like that. I've been there, I've done that. Look at Thomas DeLauer's channel, for example. He's been keto, he takes his shirt off, he's all buff, and, he's doing all of that shit. He's doing everything in the fucking handbook for trying to have a health channel. Has 2 million subscribers. That looks fucking great on paper. I'm looking at his videos, and they're getting 11 to 70,000 views per video for 2 million subscribers. That means nobody gives a shit about keto anymore, which would be understandable given the pandemic and all this other bullshit, or his growth is being stifled by the algorithm, or he just sucks. But, I don't think he just sucks. He does quality keto content, but it's often like a repeating cycle. Like I just noticed today he posted his lab results. I didn't really watch it because I don't care about his lab results. Clearly he's healthy. He's been doing keto for a long time. He's fine. All right. I don't need to see your lab results. I've seen enough. I know my lab results. And I know some of you like being reinforced and hearing that the same thing over and over again. just go back and watch. I really doubt that there's a person among you that has watched every one of my keto videos from the past. Go back. Maybe I did something wrong that'll help you too. Maybe I fucked up back then and you're like, yeah, I glad I didn't do that. Because maybe you've seen some of my later videos, and it has been a transition from, pounding the fuckmaster in the very beginning all the way up to keto and fasting to get me where I am today. And where I am today isn't the strongest position of this health journey. Given that I've been on the road now and I've been dirty keto and I've had multiple cheat days, and I'm kind of off the wagon because I had a cheat day the last 2 days in a row. I feel fat as fuck. I feel bloated. I feel miserable. And I'm not exactly the strongest example one should follow when following a ketogenic diet right now. This is another reason I don't make a lot of keto videos. I am keto today. I've just had a couple cheat days, mainly out of laziness. You work fucking 14-hour day, and the last thing you really want to do is cook and then do dishes and do all of that at the end of the day. And of course, being out here, my options are kind of limited keto-wise. I was at a truck stop. Both these times I had the cheat meal, and it was just fucked up. And I feel like shit as a result of it. My energy levels have dipped because of it. And it's just not healthy. And I probably gained a few pounds in the process. So I don't know. I haven't weighed in a while. But the point is I've said it. I've told you what needs to be done. It's up to you whether you want to do it or not. And I've always said you got to do your own homework on top of the shit that I've talked about, nutrition. When you add in the shadow banning of the topic in general and the demonetization, like I went back through all my yellow icons, having recently got a yellow icon for talking about just mundane, talking about hobbies and my goals and vlogging, and I got a yellow icon, which tells me YouTube's broken in a lot of ways, because there's plenty of other shit that I expect to get the yellow icon that I did fine with. All the shit talking about Cuomo, all the fucking politically based commentary I've done here and there, no problem. But when I tell you to do keto, or I tell you about, Monsanto and all of that shit, who knows, this video might even be demonetized just for that, but I felt like I needed to kind of address this on YouTube, which is why it's on YouTube. When I talk about that stuff, I get demonetized and I get clamped, and which is what I'm seeing happen to a lot of these other keto YouTubers and low-carb YouTubers. They're getting clamped. Their views are stopped. They'll get a certain amount and then blam, it's like you hit a wall. And then that video doesn't do shit. You might get a little bit of views trickling here and there. The only time it might pop is if somebody did a video that becomes super relevant to what people are searching right now. There's just, as a content creator, there's not a future for me, and there's a lot of work involved in doing a keto channel. You got to do tons of research. You've got to read studies. You've got to do, and I've done a lot of that already, and I don't want to keep doing it, especially seeing that this channel is impossible to grow. It might be impossible to grow anyway, given the state of YouTube as it is. I'm seeing other YouTubers that have managed to grow in this YouTube environment in the van life community. Granted, some of them are leveraging other aspects of clickbait to do so, and these are things I don't have at my disposal, and I'll just leave it at that without starting any shit talking. But let's just say that there's some other YouTubers that are capitalizing on our natural instincts to gain subscribers and viewers, and YouTube is all for it because, hey, gotta get that sweet dollar. I don't have anything to offer in that realm, so I can't do that. And so YouTube has become kind of no longer a viable full-time gig for me. I like making content, which is why I still do it. I don't have to do it right now, and I won't have to do it when I come off the road either. YouTube is I enjoy making content, And if I don't enjoy making content, I'm not going to make it. I'm clearly not doing it because I'm growing. I haven't seen YouTube growth in forever. My Odysee is growing and has increased growing as I do more exclusive content on there, and I will be doing more exclusive content on that platform going forward. At least once a week I will post an exclusive video over there, simply because the growth, I enjoy that. I enjoy that I'm able to grow as a content creator, period. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Odysee, whether I give other platforms a try. I am considering Twitch when I come off the road, because I don't know that I have time to be a Twitch streamer while I'm doing this job. I just, and I know some people don't like the new content I have been doing, which is adventures, vlogs, minimalism, van life, nomad life, this kind of stuff. And of course, my little forays into the pandemic and the politics behind it, and just this whole crazy world that we've been stuck with 2020. Of course, I'm going to talk about it. It affects everyone deeply and profoundly. It's affecting our whole society. And I know some people haven't agreed with my opinions, particularly when it comes to the pandemic, and that's fine. And I've lost subscribers for that. I've had people turn their backs on the channel, people who were longtime fans, because of the keto and fasting and health topics. But we apparently have diverged in opinions on, what I view this pandemic as. And I'm still, if anything, my opinions have been reinforced by my time out here on the road, by seeing what is going on out here to our economy and various other aspects of our way of life, which have led to me having to adapt. The only reason I got in this truck, if you'll recall, was because of the lockdown in New York, the way things are. And now I'm starting to adapt to it. I'm starting to say, I enjoyed being my own boss for 2 years. I like doing creative things and being in charge of my time. Having full control of my time is my goal. I'm not saying I don't want to work. I'm saying I want to do work that allows me to control my time, so that if I want to do something, I can do it. If somebody asks me if I can go do something with them, I can say yes. That's not the case while I'm in this box. And I thought I had to be in this box. I thought that in this new normal, I have to be out here in the truck. I've started to research on skill sets that I can nurture that will allow me to go back to creating content for the majority of my time, and that it doesn't include keto, really. Keto's kind of an afterthought. I still talk about nutrition when I feel it's pertinent, or fasting. I do plan on doing wilderness fasts again and stuff like that, and fat fasting. And I'll talk about that when I do it. I just haven't been doing it. But it's no longer the theme of this channel. If you're watching this for keto content, you're not going to get a lot here. You'll get some. Occasionally I'll mention it. Occasionally I'll talk about, what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, or how I fucked up or how I didn't fuck up. And I do fuck up. I'm not perfect. I'm not a role model for keto by any means. I've been keto for a long time. I've seen the results. I've seen the pitfalls. I understand a lot of the problems that come with keto and fasting. And, I'm aware of that. I just feel like everybody's doing like a fucking tire change here, fucking guy mowing the lawn here. What the fuck? Anyways, if you can just ignore all that stupid noise in the background. I've done the best. I'm moved on from keto and fasting as my main topic for the channel. For YouTube, I just want to do vlogs, talk about my life, talk about the things I'm struggling with, talk about my mental health struggles and how I'm looking to survive with the way things are. And that's kind of become my focus lately, is how do I navigate through the post-COVID world that we are in, the post-political world that is really changing how we live. We're seeing a very severe change in lifestyle for everyone. No longer is it cool to go to the store. No longer is it cool to go shopping or go to the mall or go to theaters or go to bars even, especially in New York. We're being forced to honestly stay home for the majority of your free time. And, while you can go and do outdoor activities still, that I wouldn't count on that being permanently allowed in this current stupid climate we're in. And I'm still going to do my outdoor activities. If anything, I'll be able to do it more often when I get out of this truck. But a lot of research went into, my keto videos. A lot of time was spent off from in front of the camera just to produce those videos. And since I'm now applying that research time to learning new skills, like I'm really hitting the 3D graphics and I'm really hitting music making and production, and marketing and distribution and all of the things that it would take to turn that into an income stream, I don't have time to give you the research necessary to do the keto videos. I need to do things to survive in this world. And honestly, being a keto-only content creator is not the pathway to success, for me. Thomas DeLauer is still successful, I assume, because he markets and sells a bunch of products on his videos. But if I had to boil it down to just views, I don't want to be a t-shirt maker. I don't want to be, to where I'm constantly having to, create things and make orders just for merchandise. I don't want to be like a t-shirt salesman. I want to be a content creator. I want people, if I'm going to make money as a content creator, I want it to be the content that brings the income, because that's where all the work is going. I don't want to have to do more work on top of the content creation to survive. And honestly, YouTube is no longer an environment that makes that possible. So the content that I'm shifting to make to survive with is stuff like stock photography, stock video, 3D graphics, 3D models, textures. It might even develop into some game development aspects, as depending on how my skill set progresses. But that's where a lot of my research time is now focused. So the only thing I can do keto and fasting wise is tell you when I do something. Like if I decide to do a 4-day wilderness fast, I'll be like, oh, I'll document it. I'll bring the camera out, be like, yep, I'm hungry, something like that. But is the days of me going out and keeping up with all the studies and keeping up with all the press, especially since I'm trying to avoid the press right now, and the mainstream media lies about nutrition, I can't fight that battle right now and work as much as I've been working in the truck and do the research for when I'm going to come out of the truck and all of these skill sets. And I'm really weighing a lot of options right now. And I got to be honest, making videos about keto and fasting are pretty low priority for me, because they're not going to contribute to growth of the channel. I'm preaching to the choir for those of you who do stay with, a lot of you are already keto or are trying, and, you bounce in and out of keto. It's what you got to do, but you can't quite get there. And that's fine. But, I've told you guys a while back about the whole censorship thing and how frustrating it was fighting the algorithm with keto and health. And to this day, most of my demonetized videos are nutrition-based videos of all the shit. A lot of people are, stop swearing and then you won't fuck you. No. I've got videos that I've talked the same shit But if they fit a certain mainstream narrative, the algorithm pumps them right up. I've got a video, I shit you not, one of my most successful videos of all time in the nutrition sphere, 50,000 plus views, how I lost 46 pounds eating junk. This was early on before I discovered keto, and I was all on the fasting alone, eating junk while fasting. And it is a true story. I did lose, but that came with a lot of fine print for that weight loss. I was fucking starving, ravenously hungry, and after a while, the fasting became ineffective. You know, even doing alternate day fasting, I wasn't losing weight, and I would just binge on my fucking eat days, which is what happens when you eat junk food and you try and use fasting alone to manage your weight. And not to mention the metabolic issues I later on learned of, on how your metabolism can shift if you fast too long, and there's a whole bunch of issues I covered. It's all there. It's all still there. And if you really are interested in what I had to say about it, I've already said most of it. Now, I know things will pop up. Like the last thing I commented on was the person that died in Bollywood of kidney failure due to a ketogenic diet. Clearly, they were eating too much protein to get to problems with their kidneys. You're not supposed to eat lots of protein. I've covered this repeatedly in the past. It's supposed to be a high-fat, low-carb, normal protein diet, as in you're not eating more steaks, you're not loading up on the protein to get your calories. You load up on fat to get your calories. Protein should stay pretty much in the normal range, and carbs should be in the low range. How many different fucking videos do I need to make to say that? I can't, just keep doing that. It's not fulfilling to me, first of all. I don't enjoy making videos where I've repeated myself constantly. Sometimes it happens, but it's usually if I'm hyper-focused on something. And I did repeat constantly a lot of those, same types of videos in the past. But I honestly, I'm burnt out on that. I don't want that to be my end-all be-all, just like I don't want to stay in this truck forever. I have other things I want to work on, other goals and other aspirations. I still want to freely travel the country to where I am in charge of my time and I can get out there and do what I want and I can do it when I want. And that's one of my big goals. And, if I discover something new about keto or fasting along the way, or I do a long fast or a wilderness fast, I, of course, will document and share that. But no longer does my life revolve around nutrition. I'm working on other aspects of life. There's more to life than what you eat. There's lifestyle. Lifestyle is a huge contributor to health, by the way, compared to just nutrition. Now, nutrition is a big step. You can prevent a whole lot of trips to the hospital in your elderly years if you take care of your nutrition. But that's one component of a successful, healthy, happy life. What good is it to be healthy as fuck if your lifestyle's fucked, if you're stressed out all the time, if you have all of these problems? And believe me, 2020 has brought a lot of problems to a lot of people, so it's hard for me to tell you to be keto and take care of your health when all of the enjoyment is being sucked out of your life by your governments and by all of this, fear and anxiety and this new normal shit. I can't, with a straight face, saying you need to take care of your health while the rest of your life is miserable, and I know for a fact, because there's people I've tried to convert to keto over the years who are just like, well, what good is it? I'm going to probably die tomorrow anyway. Every day I get's a gift, and I'm going to be happy being dopamine during that time. And I struggle with that myself. There's times when I'm like, why do I even give a fuck about my health anymore with the way the world is? And that's a hard struggle. And then I have to remind myself, at the very least, I cannot go out being in a nursing home, being in the healthcare system, And that goal is what kind of keeps me wrangled. You know, I do step outside of keto here and there, and then I'm just like, I got to get back to it, or I'm going to end up living in the healthcare system in my elder years. And that's not something that's on my list of shit to do. And I'm going to do everything in my power to avoid that, you know. And that's also to avoid all of the shit that comes with COVID that they're planning for us. I do not want Big Pharma's hand up my ass for the rest of my life. And here they are encroaching now with COVID. I don't want them in my life. I don't want them controlling my life. I don't want them dictating my freedoms like they are right now. And I'm going to do everything I can to avoid that. So that is why I stick with keto and why I do fasting for the most part. If I do damage, if I do fuck up, I know how to go back and fix it. I've done it multiple times throughout this journey. I can't fight this anymore with the nutrition. I just can't. I mean, there's bigger battles that are causing more people problems than whether or not they're keto right now. You know, and I can't sit here and preach about keto when the rest of our lives are becoming shitty. It just doesn't make sense from my point of view anyway. And I'm kind of shifting my focus by sharing how I'm dealing with the way things are becoming and sharing my opinion on that, so that maybe, you know, either somebody will see that and be like, well, why don't you try this? And I get a lot of that on this channel. Or I try something that, and I've seen this as well in the comments, I've tried to do something like coming out and trucking. I've had comments from some of you who are doing the same fucking thing for the same fucking reason I jumped in the truck. And it's also a nice backup plan to always have. I do not regret coming out here. It reinforced my license. It's good to go. If I need to jump in a truck, I can jump in a truck anytime. That's a nice option to have, and you should protect it if you got a CDL. You should not do drugs. You should not drive like an asshole. Don't get DWIs. Keep your CDL good to go. Protect your CDL. Don't speed. Don't do all kinds of dumb shit while you're driving, and you'll fucking have that option literally in your back pocket for when life doesn't work out. And then you get time to reevaluate things out here. And you're like, what can I do differently the next time I step out of the truck? And as I've said before, the next time I step out of this truck, I'm hoping it'll be the last. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up the option to hop back in if I fail. Trying to start your own businesses and to do all these other income streams and to do gig economy work, which I've been looking a lot more into, and it seems a lot more promising in the post-COVID world, given that everybody wants everything delivered now. So I'm looking into that. You know, I'm looking into things like Amazon Flex and Instacart, and you know, I'm trying to get away from the Uber side of things because I don't like the way things have been going as far as wearing a mask and dealing with the dangers of civil and political unrest. I think that makes the job of Uber a little bit more dangerous than the money that you get in return, and I don't know that I want to do that. Is it an option on the table still? Yes. I don't get rid of options that work, but it's at the bottom of the list of shit I might do to survive. So I hope that explains it. You know, I'm sorry to those of you who you came here for keto and that's the only reason you're here. I thought most of you had jumped ship at this point, but I saw in the comments that there's been multiple comments on like, what about keto? Are you going to still talk about keto? What about nutrition? It's just not in the forefront of what I'm, you know, I only got so many fucking brain cells to work on shit. And right now, all of those brain cells are focused on surviving, reclaiming my time, working on my lifestyle, making sure I'm still minimalist, making sure I'm not fucking that up. And, you know, if I have a little time left over to look at nutrition and keto and all of that, or if I fuck up and I need to fix some shit, I'll share that. But as for new information, there's really not a lot of new keto information out there. It's all been said, all the different versions. Even the vegans haven't been fucking with anything. If you're, I don't know if I've, you know, if it's just me, but I do not see a lot of vegan shit anymore in my subscriptions or in my, you know, feeds. Now, granted, I haven't gone searching for it. I'm sure some of it's still there. You know, I haven't even seen some of the nutritionists that I still watch. They haven't mentioned veganism or vegan efforts to destroy things right now, because I think the vegans are all busy being afraid of COVID right now, and they're not too worried about whether or not you also are vegan. So, you know, even the vegans have settled the fuck down during this time. So there's no need to push back against them, as they've been pushing their way into carnivores and ketos over the years and trying to demonize the diet and do all of that. I no longer really have the feeling I have to defend keto at this point either. It's becoming more accepted in the food industry. Like, you're seeing a lot of keto foods, and granted, they're frankenfoods. Like, even Pepsi, I just found out, has put out a keto coffee. It's horrible. It's like 20 something grams of protein. A friend of mine sent me a picture of it, and I was just like, no, just fucking drink coffee. Put fat in your coffee, and then you have keto coffee. You don't need to buy it from Pepsi. Pepsi is never going to do anything that's healthy for you. No matter how hard you think that they're trying, just slapping keto on something and replacing all the sugar with fucking artificial sweeteners and then throwing a lot of whey protein in the mix. I don't think that's necessarily the healthiest way. That's the dirtiest fucking keto you could eat. And you're not going to feel good doing that. Whole foods, you know. I'm repeating myself again, you know. Keto should be whole foods that you prepare yourself, or you go to a trusted restaurant that will prepare the food properly for you and give you the proper fat and all of that stuff. Hard to find, mind you. Especially since over 100,000 restaurants are permanently closed due to COVID. Have you looked at that lately? I mean, so it's hard enough to get people to stick to keto as it is. And I think in this current environment, I would just be shouting in a vacuum at this point, to people that are already keto. You know, that's who would look for those videos. And it shows. If you look at the view counts of all the keto YouTubers, they're not proportional to their subscriber level, which means either they've been suppressed, or the overall, nobody's looking for it. Nobody's listening for it. Nobody gives a shit about nutrition right now. Will that always be the case? No. Eventually, we'll figure out what the new normal is. And that, I'm not happy about that and where it's headed. And then people will start to focus on their health again. But right now, when you talk about health, everyone's worried about, you know, COVID, and they're not worried about the fucking 15 pounds they gained during the pandemic, or the fucking shitty food that they continue to eat. You know, they wear their mask all over the place, yet they eat stuff that will destroy their health completely, which will kill them at some point in their life. And it's, I don't know how you can profess to be so, you know, virtuous about the virus, and then you go and you slam a fucking 60-ounce soda while being obese and eating like crap. You know, own it. You know, if you're going to eat like crap, you probably shouldn't give a shit about the virus, you know, because the two kind of work together to take you out. And we're worried about one thing, but there's not a lot of old prevention going on about the other. We'll lock down your entire fucking life, but we won't make you eat healthy. You know, we'll still, because why? Money. That's it. It's what it boils down to. It's what this whole thing is about. It's what all this political fucking problems are. It's what everything is become so corrupt because of greed of corporations, and they have their hands and tentacles into every aspect of our lives at this point. And it's Not going to get better anytime soon. So I'm gone into adapt mode. I'm trying to adapt to the times by learning skill sets that I think would be marketable given the new markets. The days are obviously numbered for trucking. I don't anticipate it going away in my lifetime. But there is a future where trucking's not as required, as we continue to outsource to the gig economy, which pays less, doesn't have benefits, and, has a higher tax rate, usually, depending on what state you're in. That's where we're being pushed, When I looked into Amazon Flex, I'm like, look at how many truck drivers are going to be put out of business because of this. They're getting rid of, the delivery driver. The guy that takes it from the warehouse to your door. There's going to be less of those because of an Uber-like system being applied to freight. And it isn't going to be self-driving trucks that end trucking, by the way. I think it's going to be the gig economy, because you're basically getting rid of all this overhead cost of equipment, vehicle maintenance, accidents, liability. All of that shit is being outsourced to Joe Blow with a cell phone and saying, here you go, hop in your car. And I can't say, you can't beat them, join them, so I do that. But that's just the way things are moving. And if you can try and fight that, but it's a losing battle. The writing is on the wall. Look at what happened to taxi drivers and Uber. Well, now we're into freight. When you're talking about items and boxes and grocery stores and all of that and food, you're going to see a whole lot of industries downsized or removed, as we're seeing the restaurant industry get decimated right now. Not only from the lockdowns, but from the fear. People still have a lot of fear. I've seen it all over the country. And those industries are going to change. And you can either try and fight it, but you're probably, if you fight it for too long, you're going to get left behind. Don't get left behind. Adapt. That's all you can do. You can't stop that once the ball is rolling down the fucking side of the mountain, the snowball. It becomes an avalanche at some point, and if you just stand up and go, whoa, 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 then guess what? That avalanche is going to run right over you, and nothing's going to happen, So, or you can hop on some pair of skis in front of the avalanche and be like, oh shit, I got to fucking down the hill real quick. That's me. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to do so in a way that allows me to enjoy my life and to enjoy my lifestyle. And to get the whole time thing. The time is the most important to me. Got to reclaim that time. I've lost a lot of time over the years. I've wasted a lot of time. I've squandered my time. I feel like I'm doing that again. I'm wasting so much of my time for money right now. That money that I honestly could get by without. So right now my wheels are turning and I'm working on things. Don't worry, I'm not stopping YouTube until Google gets sued by the Department of Justice for being a monopoly and they break it all apart and who knows what happens after that. So that's coming. So another reason not to hedge too many of my bets for YouTube content. I'm going to continue these other projects. I still get a Google paycheck. I still get income from Odysee. And every once in a while, sometimes you guys still, even though I've asked you, I've said you don't have to because, even though I appreciate it, people still have donated to the channel for my content, essentially rewarding me for a job well done. And that allows me to dedicate an amount of time, and it's hard to do when you have a fucking job like this. Like even right now, I took a 3-hour break just to make this video, to try and edit it in that 3-hour period, and then get it uploaded. I'll probably throw it on my phone and have it upload while I'm driving, but I'm not in a good state for that. I'm in West Virginia right now. And basically, when I get a bit of income in return for that, that compensates me for that time. Remember, time being the most important thing. And that time has to bring some kind of fulfillment to me. And right now I think trying to navigate life is just as important as what you eat. And I've said repeatedly what you should and shouldn't eat over the years. You can only beat the dead horse for so long before you get kicked in the nuts. Yeah, sometimes I don't make sense and shit. It's another reason I need to stop making fucking nutrition videos. I'm not a fucking expert. I've never been an expert. I'm not a keto fucking expert. I'm not a fasting expert. I did my homework. I tried the shit. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I know the addictive nature of the standard American diet. I fight it still to this day. Each cheat day is like taking a hit of a powerful drug and getting re-addicted. It's a struggle, and not to mention the mental health struggles, which I've largely done better with, but 2020 has set me back a little bit in terms of a grand reduction of dopamine that I have to make up for somehow, and I'm hoping that some of these new endeavors get me there. So that's it for this fucking video. Please like and subscribe for more shit, and I'll make more shit. Also, there is already, if you haven't noticed, I think I talked about it during my demonetized live stream that I just did. But I just want to reiterate, there is an exclusive video I did, I think it was 4 days ago, on Odysee. If you haven't watched that yet, please go check it out. You can sign up for Odysee/LBRY in the link below. Doesn't matter which one you use. It's the same login for both. And then you can enjoy my content. I know that some of you struggle with the connections. I've been connecting to Odysee via mobile this whole time, and sometimes it stutters and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the video, who uploaded it, how they uploaded it. But as far as my content, I'm able to watch my videos on my phone without any stuttering issues, which means I'm uploading it properly, but you might have connection issues. I don't know. It's not as refined as YouTube. It never will be. YouTube's had a lot of money and time and effort and a lot of infrastructure that is unavailable to a lot of these smaller platforms. But what I do have on that platform is worth all of the trouble, and that's freedom to say what I want and do what I want and make the content I want to make and not worry about it. So I'm going to continue to nurture other platforms simply because I don't have a lot of faith in this platform. So, yeah. I'll still stream here on YouTube until that gets taken away from me. I'm here at the behest of Susan. I have to follow Susan's fucking rules for the most part. I still push a lot. I still say fuck a lot. There's a whole lot of things I do. I'm not sitting here picking and choosing my words that I say on YouTube as like some of the other content creators who have taken it to obscene levels that they won't say certain words just because they're afraid of the yellow icon. Fuck that. I'm not afraid of the yellow icon. In fact, whenever I get a yellow icon, I go and make 2 other videos on another platform just to say fuck you to Susan and Google. Listen, you don't want me here on YouTube, I'll leave. And whether it's the people that don't want me or the company that doesn't want me, I won't make videos here. I'll do them somewhere else where I'm wanted. I'm going to go where I'm wanted. And I'm not talking about necessarily people that watch my shit. I'm talking about the company doesn't seem to care about us little guys and whether or not we make content. They don't take care of us in any way. We're just like not even flexed on their balls. We're like a tick on the underside of their fucking nut, and they'll just fucking rip us right the fuck out, not caring if they get Lyme disease or not. Head over to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, sign up for my free email list, and you'll be informed whenever I do something off of YouTube. And I think whenever I do a YouTube live stream, I'll also send out an email to help let you guys know when, which I did for that last one. I kind of was like, okay, I didn't have a time, but I had an idea that I was going to try and stream that night. So I put that in the email as well. So hopefully that helped some of you be able to make it to the stream. I know it was still short notice though, so it's hard to schedule shit when you're on the road like this. I can't just give you a time because I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I'll have internet. I don't know if I have bandwidth. You know, there's all of these variables that I deal with. So, but sign up for my free email list and I'll send you an email whenever I'm going to do something off platform. Follow me on Odysee, link below, and have a nice motherfucking day. And yes, I don't even know that I'm ketogenic right now because for the past 2 days I've eaten like shit. And I feel like shit as a result of eating like shit. My energy levels have been down. So, don't have too many cheat days. I think I've said that before. A bunch. So stop cheating. Go keto. Keep your fucking carbs under fucking 30 grams. You know, if you're diabetic, 50 if you're normal. And high fat, low carbs, normal protein. You know, go carnivore if you're struggling with autoimmune or fucking, you know, emotional problems or anxiety or depression. Try carnivore. That's it. That's all my fucking nutritional knowledge. Oh, and fast. You know, 1 meal a day at the bare minimum, which is what I roughly do. Sometimes I'll have a little bit extra or a snack that day if I'm not a strict motherfucker. But for the most part, it's 1 meal a day, you know. And yeah, that's all. That's all there is to it. You're good to go for a good year. Do that for a year and let me know what happens in the comments. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit.